This is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. He's Garland. You can barely see it, but it's the championship belt. We're here to discuss Insecure Season 5, Episode 3, Pressure. Okay. Hey, Garland, how you doing, sir?
I'm feeling great, bro. Feeling great. What about yourself?
Good man, good man. Just been working a little tired. We just talked about it offline, a little tired, doing a little bit of
Yeah.
working. The
Right.
world is starting to open back up. It's starting to, but my
Returning back to
Ravens,
work.
you see, representing for my Ravens are doing well. Lamar Jackson, I don't care what they say, he is the MVP right now until somebody can do any better. They tried to say Josh Allen. Josh Allen just lost to the Jaguars. Boo. They tried to say Justin Herbert, but what happened when he came to town? Beat the hell out of him. Listen, only thing they got now is Tom Brady, the old man. That's the only thing they can say now. But
Right.
you know what? Whatever, man. Whatever.
MVP.
Steelers cheated last night.
They
Steelers
did.
and the refs cheated last night, but still a good game.
MVP. I was at the game Sunday, had an outstanding time, was giving the business to the Minnesota fans. They packed it out. They traveled well and stuff. But yeah, as long as you have Lamar on your team, you're always in the game.
Always in the game. I don't even know
Always in the game.
why they acting like. It's pressure. They coming back. We got to keep making comebacks, and it's crazy. But hey, we
hmm
still winning, and that's all that matters. Hey man, let's get into this insecure thing. It was pretty interesting. Let's get
Hey
into that.
man, I even though it's titled "Pressure," okay, I think this is the Lawrence episode, and we knew from the previews that they were going to focus on Lawrence this week, and so I have to say it was actually a real good episode, and I'm ready to dive into this. So let's go ahead and get into it. Last week we picked up with Issa a year after the alumni weekend at Stanford, and we see her move forward in her new business, The Block, and the pitfalls of her relationship with Nathan. Now, this week, we see Lawrence after Issa ends their relationship. He's adjusting to his new career in San Francisco, and in the midst of being out on a first date, Candola gives birth to his son, Elijah Mustafa. Now, how wrong was it, Calvin? Let's start right there. How wrong was it for condolences to name the baby without Lawrence's input?
So maybe this is an unpopular opinion, and I would be upset too. But I'm one of those that if you sleep with the woman, you got to be prepared for her to make the ultimate decisions on some things. And for whatever reason, if you're not there, whether she doesn't want you to be there, whatever, you got to be prepared for that. You don't have to be happy about it. You just got to be prepared for it. So I think it's par for the course when people aren't together. And even though we didn't think so when we last saw Condoleezza, but it seems like she has a little animosity towards him. And, one of the ways that people strike back is through the children, and naming the baby without him and thinking that, I'm doing you a favor by giving him the last name. That's kind of a little slap in the face. So,
Right,
yeah, it
right.
was pretty wrong. But unless you're there, it's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Yeah, and I guess that leads right into the next point. He was mostly absent during the pregnancy. And so Lawrence, he wants to be an involved father, but of course, because it's Lawrence, it's difficult. Now he's enjoying the life of a single man and he uses work as an excuse to disappear. He wants to be more of a presence, but he doesn't know how to communicate that. And Condola's not making it any easier. And so, from what we saw last night, was he doing enough or is he getting what he deserved?
So you think you're doing enough. It's his first kid, but you don't know how it is, what the other person's facing. And
Right.
I liked how they showed the double shot, the side by side shot where he's fucking, she's up
Right.
with the baby, he's celebrating, she's feeding the baby, you know what I mean? Because you just don't know what it is on the other side. And I'm sure Lawrence has great intentions and he thinks he's doing all he can, but you're really not. And if you're not there, and if you're not part of the baby's life, it's really hard to make any demands. Yeah, it's so tough. You don't want to say he's not doing enough, but he's really not doing enough. And maybe because he doesn't know any better, maybe he needs some guidance. We've seen, have we seen his father? We saw his father at the
Yeah,
thing, but we don't
we
know
saw
how
his
strong
father.
his father is
Right.
in his life. We just don't know. It's so difficult to say. You hate to judge any young parent unless they're on drugs or just blatantly not trying to be there.
Right.
But he has the convenience of going home, and she doesn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like, he making lady scream and she got to deal with a screaming baby. You know what I'm saying? Lawrence is putting
Yeah.
in work and, she's like cleaning bottles. And when he don't want to show up, he just, hey, I got to work. It's going rough. And so, it's kind of like, yeah, you really were dismissive. You're not necessarily happy because you were ready to get into the full blown relationship with Issa, and it's easier for you because you're distanced away to use that. And so as we see that, that relationship that they had was really a relationship. I'm talking about Lawrence and Condola. It was a relationship of convenience. It was basically a extended booty in the pure sense. They just hooked up. It was physical. She, brought him around to friends for a little bit, but she didn't have designs of something long term, nor did he. And so, because it was of convenience and not of love, it really shows. And Lawrence, he's basically walking on eggshells around Condola and her family, particularly her sister, Kiki Palmer, who played this role very funny. And they have a blow up at Simone's birthday party at Derek and Tiffany's daughter and all. And so we see Kelly there and everything. And, he gave Josh some food. And Condoleezza didn't think that he should have given the baby the food. And, they go back and forth and get into a little, verbal spat in which Derek has some great advice in terms of your energy has just got to be right. Your energy is off. Our energy is off. And so okay, I calm down, and then he comes down and supposed to have his son over for an overnight stay, and the baby's struggling a little bit, and Condola doesn't want to let him take the baby and all, and so that ends with him threatening legal action to I'm gonna see my son. And so is Condola justified in her lack of trust of Lawrence?
It's just like I was saying about Launch. He think he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, but
Mm-hmm.
unless you're in this situation, you don't know. It's hard to judge Comforter because it's her baby. She's been with the baby from the beginning and never been separated. So it's hard for her to separate, even though she may be like, "You're never here." But then when he's there and he wants to take the baby, I don't think you can handle the baby. It's really hard for a parent to let go, especially a mother who's been doing it by themselves. You know, I I've always been on Lawrence's side, but if there was one time that he really showed his f boyness was
Mm-hmm.
when he looked at her and said, "Yeah, we had it, and then you just blew my life up. You just tried to
Right.
destroy my life." Right. As soon as he said that, I cringed because
Right.
and I gave this advice to my son: when you lay down with a woman, if you're not prepared for her to be in your foreview for the rest of your life, do not sleep with her because there's a possibility that she can be for the remaining years of your life. And you got to know that a pregnancy is possible. And once she has that baby, it's so tough, man. It's so tough. I don't know. I Was she
It is tough.
justified?
Mhm.
Yeah, was she justified? You want to say no, but then you want to say yes because he wasn't there. But she has to also give him a chance to be a dad, and that's
Right.
what he's fighting for, to be a dad. I think they both could have handled it a little better. And it looks like when they made that phone call, they both realized that we were a little tough on one another, and
Mhm.
hopefully moving forward they can handle that better.
I like what Dawn said. Dawn said that no, she's not justified. And Ashley, she said because she should have known from the jump, based on his response when she first said she was pregnant, she could have just kept the baby and left him out. And so, yeah, you got this tension of you basically you've messed up my life, and yeah, you let me know, but she's probably thinking like the way you were just so dismissive when I told you that I was pregnant. I've moved on and I'm ready to parent by myself. And because Lawrence is Lawrence and he does not have the greatest communication skills, he's not able to pull her in to say, hey, let's really work on this. I know I wasn't there. Let me try to be a parent. Let me earn that trust. I don't think he necessarily proved himself to be trustworthy because he was always so quick to sign out, when it's just, he was ready to parent when it was convenient for him. And I think that is definitely an issue. I know I was thinking about some of the relationships people I know. I know some of this episode probably was very triggering for people. I think Kashana Brooks said that it was tricky. She glad that chapter of her life is over. And so yeah, I'm sure this is probably very triggering because you're in relationships and it's not a marriage relationship, but you're having a child and you have to figure out how do we co-parent, how do we coexist, and we don't have a romantic relationship, we're not a couple, we don't have a future together, just like Lawrence was pointing out to Derek, like, well, your situation is different, you're married, this is a different thing, but still in the same, you're not, your goal is not to get back together, but your goal is to raise the child, to give the child a balanced life. And we just saw two people struggling with that because I think they had so much unresolved trauma just in their relationship period. The way that Lawrence handled the news, and Condola, you call it Condoleezza, and Condola, basically it's kind of like I can go on this by myself. I can do bad by myself, as you hear a lot of people say. I don't need any help, and so Lawrence has to earn that trust, and also he's still thinking about Issa, and so he's at the party. He's trying to pump Kelly for information without asking, like, okay, well, how's Issa doing, and all those things. So he still got Issa on the brain. Maybe Issa, as I've said, she dodged a bullet, but Issa, I don't think she's bright enough to realize that she's dodged a bullet. But they are both in a.
What?
I don't think she's smart enough. The character, because she's going to eventually end up. She's going to. I'm going to go a bold prediction, Calvin. She's going to end up back in some way, shape, or form with Lawrence, and because yeah, okay, yeah, she took the little step to say, "Hey, let's move on." But if it's no baby, she's still back in that relationship, and it doesn't change the fact that Lawrence is still a F boy. He's still an F boy
Well,
at
wait.
his
Well,
core.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't think if Issa ends up with Lawrence, that makes her not smart. Shout out to the baby dads out here that we're doing our thing. I don't think that makes her not smart. Now, um,
We're talking about the
let me
character now.
say
Remember,
this.
y'all, we're talking about characters. I want no AKAs and nobody get
Oh
mad
yeah,
on
yeah,
here. We're
yeah,
talking about characters now. All right,
yeah.
so go ahead.
But let me say this. First of all, shout out to Issa Rae and Insecure for having an episode that doesn't include the star one bit. Like, not
Right,
only did we not see her, I don't even recall them mentioning her name because when he was trying to pump Kelly for information, he didn't say her name. He's like, how's other people doing? And she was
right,
just like, me and mine are doing just wonderful. But Lawrence, and I like Lawrence, but I was really disappointed in some of the things he was doing, and I have to base it on the fact that also this is his first child, just like it's Conch Shell's first child.
hmm
So Lawrence is playing daddy. He's
right,
putting this crib up in his place and this and that, but there's no plans for this baby to come
right.
back to your place. And it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're putting on this facade for yourself that you're playing this great father, but none of this is translating, and this always happens, and people try to deny it, and a lot of couples, no one will admit it. Somebody in that parenting relationship is hurt because we're not together, and I'm not going to let Condola off the hook because I know that she is absolutely distraught that Lawrence got back with Issa at any time,
Sure.
especially while she was pregnant. She's not showing that she's being strong, but I know she has to be absolutely upset because if it were reversed, Lawrence would be upset. Also, someone mentioned that the sister needs to pipe down. I definitely need Akela and the B to go back to the spelling championship and stay out of this. Although she was very funny in this. She was
She
very
teaching the baby the crip walk, get the crip walk on. And I have that in my notes of the pull of family a lot of times in this situation because we even saw it with Lawrence's parents. They want to have the baby dunked underwater to be baptized. First of all, you don't baptize no baby under no water. Okay, we want the baby to die, and so they want the baby fully immersed. And Condola, she already set it up, got the baby sprinkled on the head and all those things. And so yeah, it's this poor communication, and I think it's a microcosm of their whole relationship. The relationship was never strong from a communication standpoint. It was always physical. It was always of convenience. And when the opportunity opened up for Lawrence to go back to Issa, he went. And so it was kind of like Condola was always like okay, I'm with you now until something better happens for me or Issa takes me back. It's like Lawrence is a father in name only. He like you said, he's got this crib, he's got this starlight, but he's not actually doing any parenting. He's not there in the late night. He's not handling colic and all of those things. And so, it definitely shows, and it brings a toll on that relationship. And yeah, it's definitely hard when you get family involved as well. I know, yeah, I know people that have their parents are really the dividing factor in the parenting relationship for the two people who are not together, pulling apart good communication because the parents are in one ear. Maybe they have parents or friends in the other ear. Like the sister said, I would have been blown up by now. I bust out windows. And so, that's definitely having a major impact on the relationship. What Ashley said, condolences is not only upset about them not being together for herself, but also knowing that her child won't have that perfect family. I'm not even sure if Condola has the perfect family because I don't see a father. I just see mom and a sister.
well, yeah. So Sunshine had a dad, but he went back to his wife after he first he left his wife, but then
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to talk about Layla like that because I
Oh
like me some
Lord,
Layla
right.
Sean. I like me some Layla Sean. But yeah, man, you're right. That's another thing that you have to battle, especially when you're a single man, a baby father. You have to battle not only her, but her friends or her sister, whoever that confidant is. And this time it's Akela buzzing all in the ears. She need to go back to Ice Cube and throw some footballs around. She was going to be a football player one time. I don't know
Or
what
she need
happened
to
to
get
that.
back with J Lo and start stripping in the club again.
Something. She
Uh,
need to do
something.
something.
Don said, should he not have accepted the position in San Francisco? Well, he already basically told Condola, hey, handle your business and just let me know when it drops. And so he was going to San Francisco because that's what he wanted to do. And I think that's another part of that character is he has a side of selfishness of, this is my opportunity. I've been looking for this opportunity. I finally got it. And I'm just going to go forward with it. And I'm going to do me.
Yeah, and it's also tough because on one end you want to be able to have a job, follow your dreams, and provide for your family. let him move to San Francisco and still have to go through what he went through with Issa. You're not doing anything. You just working at Best Buy. Well, he wasn't even working at Best. Yeah, he was working at Best
Was
Buy.
working at
You're
Best
not
Buy.
doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like then that's a
Hmm.
whole nother issue you got to deal with. Um, so and this is just from experience, one of the things that he could have done being that far away is when you come and visit the baby, you're not just coming for a day or two. That week that you wanted to bring the baby back, why don't you stay for that week? Or why don't you invite her to come to you
Right.
for that
Right.
week? Bring both of them, you know what I mean? And you're showing that, hey, I'm trying to be a part of the baby, but I'm also trying to work with you. I'm trying to do everything I can to maintain what I have, but to also strengthen what you and I have as parents. It's tough, and again, this is from experience. I have 3 kids, so I didn't know any of this the first time around, but yeah, it's so tough. It was such a great episode, because of the reality of it, and of course we see people have gotten triggered. It was just such a great episode. And yeah, I see someone says that sends mixed messages. It
Right. That was
does.
done. Hmm.
If you're saying, come, let's sleep in the same bed,
Right.
but
Right.
maybe he could stay in a hotel, or maybe he could get her a room. I don't know, but what you want to do is start showing some effort, because you don't want to be accused of not being there for your kid. Most of us would rather be accused of not wanting to be with the mother as opposed to not wanting to be there for the child. It's so tough. The message that you want to send is that I'm a father. You shouldn't be really worried about the message of I want to be with you. You get that out of the way right away, unless you do.
I love this comment. And Lawrence, just because you have a job doesn't mean you don't have to check on your child. He sure did make time to exercise on that woman. He sure enough did. Yeah, so Lawrence, the Lawrence train is not going to stop. It's not going to stop for anything, for baby, none of those things. The Lawrence train is not going to stop. But someone raised a good point, and let's also focus on Condola, because Condola also has a part in this. She's not effectively communicating. She's not making it easy.
No.
I understand, the pressure of providing the majority of care and to be the one. Thank you, Ashley. To be the one that's always doing what needs to be done, but she wants to. It's almost like she's torn. Like, okay, you can see when he texts, she would look at it like, okay. Even the birthday party, I think that's a great example. Hey, are we going to go to the birthday party together? We're going to take our son. She wants to kind of extend that olive branch, but she still wants to be in control. And I think that's how the relationship was. And he was always very domineering, even in the relationship before the child was born. Now, I'm trying to think, when they put them in this relationship, was she supposed to be an older woman? Are they supposed to be the same age?
I
I
don't
know, and
recall
the
this
reason why,
ever
yeah, the reason
coming
why
up. Do
I'm
you think
asking,
she looked old?
I don't think she looked old, but I don't know why I was just thinking about that, Calvin, because was it supposed to be like a May December type of relationship? She was like, established. She had been married. I know she had been married, um, but I didn't know it was if it was, like she was a cougar and he was young. No, I just think he was an F boy and
Nah,
she,
I don't
yeah, she
think
was in the
so,
middle.
unless
Yeah.
someone heard something that I didn't hear, but
Somebody said, yes,
I
she
don't
does
think
look
so.
old. I didn't mean it that
She
way.
looks. I don't know if she looks old. She looks like she looks a little more business than
Hmm.
the other crew in there, the Issa and Molly crew. She looks a little
Okay.
more business. Like she's not, really.
Okay.
She's not really there to play games. She's there to handle her business.
Okay. Now, so we end the episode with both of them at a crossroads. Lawrence, he does reach back out. He apologizes for what he said in the house and everything. And, they're trying to work at this dialogue. I think one of the things I really got from the episode was that not only does relationships take work, but raising children is probably doubly hard. And a lot of times we think it's the presence of being there, but a lot of times it's more than just your physical presence. It's communicating, it's having, laying out your expectations, being able to be flexible, and being able to just have the will to work together. And a lot of times, like you said, Calvin, like the advice you were giving your son, you're entering into relationships and you're not thinking that far down the road, or you're not thinking that deep into them. But to me, it showed this level of, okay, we were good enough to sleep together, but we're not good enough to. It takes a little extra level to work harder with other things involved, particularly children.
Yeah, man. And let me tell you, I actually thought we were going to see the end of Lawrence. I thought the episode was going to end when that plane hit that turbulence. I thought the episode was going to end in a plane crash and Lawrence was dead and that was going to be it. I was like, wait a minute, they going to kill Lawrence? I don't know why I thought that, but I thought they was
Oh,
going to
come
kill
on, man.
somebody said
Yeah.
somebody said that cunnilingus looks like life ain't been no crystal stairs.
Shit, yeah, of course, life ain't been no
y'all
Christmas fair. She,
y'all
she,
hard on that girl, man.
she up. And it's funny. I read on Huffington Post a nice article. She really laughs at a lot of the different names that the character has been given, and just all of the controversy around that character and stuff. She says she tries not to get caught up in the whole social media aspect of it. And also, I saw an article with uh, Condola Rashad, who the character is named after. Condola Rashad. She's the daughter of Ahmad Rashad and Felicia Rashad. Well, she's not Felicia Rashad. Well, I think she's still Felicia Rashad.
Did she go
And
back to Felicia Allen?
did she go back? Yeah, maybe she did.
No, I
Maybe
think
she's
she's still
Felicia.
Felicia. I think she's
Okay.
still Rashad. Maybe she's Allen. I don't know.
The mother from the Cosby Show.
Yeah, I know somebody ain't asked who Felicia Rashad was.
No, I'm just saying since we
Oh,
couldn't figure out the last name.
Claire Huxtable.
Claire Huxtable. And so yeah, and she was in Billions, as a matter of fact. Oh, okay, she does go by Rashad. So yeah, she was in Billions. If you're a Billions watcher, she was an attorney in Billions, and so yeah, yeah, and so she was saying she gets a laugh out of it as well. She was very honored that they would use her name, and she was named after her grandmother. So she's the only other Condola besides her grandmother that she knows.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right. So any final thoughts on the episode?
Nah, man. Again, it was the Lawrence episode. I was looking forward to it. I wasn't Team Lawrence on this episode as much, and I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't Team Condola, but I was just, just a couple cringy moments there for me. But it was a great episode because it was so real, such a real down to earth episode. The comedy was little down in the episode, which I think also helped the episode and its realness. But it was a great episode. I really, really enjoyed the episode.
Yes.
Kelly
Oh, Kelly
cousin being
Cousin
Peppa Pig was
Pepper.
absolutely,
Pepper, not Peppa. Pepper. A
absolutely.
hard ER.
Bruh was on his phone. He was getting high. It was absolutely
It remind
hilarious.
me, everybody's had the party for their child and had the off-brand cartoon character. I know we had one for my daughter, and it was Arnie, not Barney. And so it was my boy in a Barney outfit. And my wife got one of her students from first grade to be with the little baby bop. So it was Arnie
Again,
and Avy Bop.
first of all, tell us you ghetto without telling us you ghetto.
Right.
You didn't have Arnie. You didn't have Barney. You
Barney.
had Arnie.
It's
Yo,
Arnie. You couldn't call him Barney. We had Arnie and Avy Bop. Baby dinosaur.
that's hilarious, bro. That
Oh
is
god.
hilarious.
So man, you want to go ahead and take the first swing as at our closing comments?
Yeah, I can. Just real quick, we discuss a lot of things, and then when we do our thoughts, we kind of give some serious things. I just wanted to show everybody that, not only do I win battles around here, but I want you all to take a look at this score right here.
Oh man, you're
So
so
I
terrible,
play
man. You're so
I
wrong.
played I played this dude in fantasy football called what's that name? Devon Shower Handle. I don't even know
Yeah,
what
the
that
boy
is.
shower
All I
handle.
know is that's Garland's team, and I literally whipped his ass in fantasy football. Hey
You
y'all,
horrible, man.
listen,
You
listen.
horrible.
Y'all
You're a
see the
terrible
championship
person.
belt. Just know, just know, I am destroying Garland in music battles, in fantasy football.
Oh,
Hey man, take a picture real quick because I'm gonna take it down. That's my guy. I don't want to embarrass him too bad, but y'all see the score. Y'all know what time it is, and hey, that's all.
that's horrible. That's horrible, man. You're the worst. I can't help. Don't nobody care about fantasy football on here right now, but if Joe Burrow doesn't have I should have started Carson Wentz. Anyway, y'all, my team got blown up last week because Derrick Henry got injured. But anyway, nonetheless, that's horrible, man. That's you even thrown me off of what I wanted to say. You're the
I had
worst.
to.
I
I had to.
can't even be
I
serious
had to.
now. Yeah, the worst. All right, y'all. Let me get this out. All right, now you saw last week. They call him Throw Rogan, or better yet, what's my man in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. They found out last week that he had lied about his vaccination status. Over the summer, he had said that he had been immunized when they asked him had he been vaccinated, and he said, "Yeah, I've been immunized." And so most people took that as at face value to say, "Oh, okay, he got the shot." But last week he tested positive for COVID, and so he had to be quarantined for 10 days. And if you are unvaccinated in the NFL and you test positive for COVID, that means you automatically go into this 10-day um, period. And so that meant that he had not had the shot. And so, old white men went crazy and some black people went crazy too, and, talking about it. But I'm gonna say something, and probably most people won't agree with me, but I'll say this about that. I don't have an issue with people that don't want to get the shot. It's your choice. It's your choice. It's your body. If you don't want to get the shot, I don't necessarily have a beef with you. My beef is when we ask you why and you say you don't have enough information. That's the part that gets me crazy. That's the part that rubs me raw. You got all the information in the world now. We've got more than enough information from verifiable sources about COVID, about the effectiveness of the shot, about its impact on your body, about having the shot, how it protects you. It doesn't stop you from getting COVID, but it protects you versus being unvaccinated. And so we have more than enough information, especially professional athletes. These are men playing for billion-dollar corporations, and they've given them the best information in healthcare that anyone could ever have. And so they have the information. I would rather have it that when someone asks you why, you just say, I don't trust the science. Just say that. Be honest. I just don't trust the science. And I can go with that. But stop lying to me and saying you need more information. You got the information. The information's here. And so you make that choice and be responsible for your choice as well. And pick better in fantasy football than I did. That's my closing thought.
Hey man, this was that Issa Rae, non Issa Rae episode of Insecure was a good episode. Next week, it looks like Issa and Molly are back. They are on a beach and they get to meet a whole new crew of guys with Nathan. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, it looks funny and it should be funny. So
Oh,
hopefully, it'll
someone
be a good
asked if
episode.
you is there a penalty if you get COVID who have the shot? You have to have two negative tests after that in order to play. And so you can test positive, but if you have two negative tests within a 48-hour period, then
Yeah. Well, I thought it had to be back to
it's
back. I think it has to be back to
yeah, I think
back.
it's 24 hours. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
within the 24 hour period. So it has to be back to back. You have two negative tests, and you don't have to go into protocol. But if you continue to test positive, then you have to go into a protocol. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, what's his name just got COVID? Nick Chubb, who's on my team, scored like 34 points against you. He got COVID
Yeah.
today. He's
Yeah. Why couldn't he have COVID last week?
Hey y'all, this is a great episode. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. We will have our pre-recorded episode of Queen Sugar. We're going to pre-record that and play it.
Yep.
And again, you
Two
won't be able
episodes
to
left of
live
Queen
comment.
Sugar coming down to
Yep,
the
two
end.
episodes left of Queen Sugar. And then we'll see what we'll get into next. If we get into anything, we might just ride Insecure out and see what comes on after that. But then join us next week. Of course, we will be doing Insecure episode 4. So, again, this is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin.
Oh
He's
God.
Garland. And this is the championship score for fantasy football. What? Hey, real quick before we go, what is Devoyne shower handle? What is that?
You never seen that Key and Peele skit where they do the football introductions, and it's like the All Star teams, and so you got Devon Shower
Got
Handle, you got
Got it. Got it.
yeah, so yeah,
So basically, your team is a bunch of comedians. I see that because the score is 132 to 80 something. Anyway, once again, this is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. He's Garland. He's on this side of me now. This is the championship winning week. That is the championship belt. We're winners over here. We'll see y'all tomorrow, and then we'll see you live on Monday. All right, y'all. Later,
we're all
Garland.
goodbye.